Electricast.
Do you want to stay up to date with the messiest drama on the internet? Or what about those crazy viral challenges? Then be sure to tune in to TMZ Verified, the podcast. I'm Wild.
I'm Steph.
And each week we're either breaking down the spicy viral stories or we're hanging out with the most popular influencers around. Tana Mojo is in the building.
I don't even know if they're hating. They're probably just telling the truth, but we love the haters too.
Sophia Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk, but like, let's be real with each other, you know?
Bryce Hall is here, y'all. Make some noise, people.
I'm single, by the way.
Right.
So if you like viral drama, influencer culture, and just overall hot messiness, check out new episodes of TMZ Verified every Thursday right here on Spotify.
Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Welcome to the next edition of MTP Boston. I am Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, and we have a new member who is not really here right now, but he's coming.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Back to the screen. I'm with my guy, always Money Mike Marcangelo, but here to join us to give us a different point of view is our resident Cowboys fan, but our good brother, the real BK Bob Kelly. So, fellas, how we doing tonight?
I mean, it's always a good night when we get to talk about the Celtics and shit on the Patriots, right? So,
yeah.
And
I don't know. It's funny how that's obviously
that's why I figured I'd be perfect. You know what I mean? That's why I figured I'd fit right in.
Yeah, because when Mike texted me earlier, he was like, "Yeah, Bobby wants to come on." I was like, "Of course he does." Like, well, that's someone fucking nine. Of course he wants. To sit here and talk about what hasn't gone right. And once again, there's a multitude of things that haven't gone right. So, it depends on how you look at it, right? Once again, I was personally done after the Dallas game. I was just like, that's it. I was like, you can't lose. You can't lose like that. Once again, you can lose a game. You can't get smoked like that. And then the Saints game, I was like, yeah, like fuck this. And Mike's like, you don't mean it. Yes, I do. Like, I have nothing left. And I was mentally checked out after the Cowboys game, and then the Saints game just kind of put it away from me. So, so that being said, let me get off my soapbox. So yes, folks, if you've been living under a rock, you're New England Patriots, the Lighthouse Warriors, as I now will call them. They're now 2-9, 2-9. So just 2-9, losing on a field goal. So, my fellow Patriot fan, my brother, Mike, just what are your thoughts? I mean, are you happy about 2-9? Are you sitting there saying, how the fuck did we get here? Or are you somewhere in between?
So I'm actually all of those things, right? So
Okay.
I'm happy that we're 2-9 now because you see at the end, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's hopefully a top 3 pick. I'm how the fuck did we get here? Because we allegedly had the greatest, the coach of all time. And now, like, we see, the game, I think, just passed him by. But I also love historic moments. And so the Patriots this week became the second team in the last 30 years to only allow 10 points in back-to-back weeks and come out 0-2. The other team
That's a real stat.
Yeah. The other team that did it was the 1990 Patriots.
Consistency. That's consistency is the name of the game. Wow. So
Yeah.
but yeah, floor is yours, Bobby. Like I said, I'll give my thoughts in a minute. But listen, 2-9. You can sell the wheel so you can show your smile from here. I know you're like, man, this is great to see. Your team is 8-3. Our team is 2-9. So listen, the floor is yours to say whatever has been on your chest for the longest time. The floor is yours.
Before Bobby goes, can I just take my only shot that I have against Bobby and the Cowboys this year?
Sure.
At least the Patriots have beat someone with a winning record.
That's not an unfair thing to say. Okay. Hopefully that changes on Thursday, but you're not wrong, okay? You're not wrong. We do beat those teams by like a lot, though. Those
Oh,
under
yeah.
500, but
you beat the
we
shit out of 'em.
annihilate them. We annihilate them, but
I've seen it.
it is what it is. Yeah, man. So I will. Do you want me to start out by shit talking? I probably should, right?
Yeah,
Um,
do it.
all I gotta say is Facebook is so much quieter on Sundays the past 6-7 months than it has been in 20 years. I posted after we beat you guys. I posted on Facebook, like, how about them Cowboys, blah blah blah. Usually, I look back on my memories. My Cowboys posts in the past would get like 100 comments and like 50 likes. Bro, I posted 2 of them and not one like on anything. And it's just like, it's so funny to me how fast most of Patriots Nation that you see like in public jumped off that bandwagon this season. Like they were just like, I want no fucking part of any of this. And see, that's not even that bad shit talking. Because honestly, guys, like, it's about time. You know what I mean? Like this was coming. It's better to get it all out all at once and have 1 or 2 really, really bad seasons than be stuck in mediocrity like I've been or like I was for many, many years. You know what I mean? I would have rathered a 3-13 season over an 8-8 season any day of the week. So honestly, like as bad as it is, I really feel like it's the right direction towards something even better. You know what I mean? Like I honestly do, because like you can't reset greatness like you had. You can't just like pivot into like more great. That's not the way it fucking works. The football gods don't do that. It just doesn't work like that.
Especially when the person putting things together is a denier of truth and doesn't believe that one part had anything to do with it. That's
Right.
the real thing.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the only team I could think that actually did work, is that team that was in Wisconsin. It worked for Green Bay. It worked. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. It worked. And that's what I was expecting here, honestly. Obviously, you'd have to. Aaron Rodgers is hard to find, but I'm saying like I thought that they would find a quarterback, and the next thing you know, it's like, all right, like it's kind of like a part 2 of what we saw. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers only been to the Super Bowl one time, obviously, and he won it, but multiple NFC championship games, getting some of the division titles, so on and so forth. So like that's what I was looking for. And maybe we had it in reverse because we did go from Jrue to Tom. So maybe that's what our 30 years was. But I was looking for that to still keep going. So
what I thought was gonna happen was more of a like I said, a bottom out and a reinvention of the team rather than trying to reproduce past teams and past results with shittier personnel. Like that's all they did to try and rebound from Brady is they built the same exact teams that they had built all those years that got by off, great discipline, that got by off, winning those games in the ends of the 2 minutes, ends of the half, beginning of the half things. You know what I mean? Just like the ins and outs of football, but with shittier personnel that couldn't execute those things. And it's like, in today, 2001, 2002, yeah, sure, that might work. And it did work. You know what I mean? It won a Super Bowl. 2023 is not 2001. That shit's not working anymore. Like the Patriots needed a hard reset. And that's what they're going to get right now. Like as painful as I know this is, it's for the best, guys. I swear on my life, it's for the best.
So what I'll add to that too, because I know we are fans of yesteryear to the extent because we grew up in the 2000s and we saw I guess the last tough era, as I put in air quotes, of football. What I'll say, I think the biggest discrepancy is, which I haven't heard on too many shows, whether it be national or local, honestly, because Bill values practicing so much and the fact that you can't practice the way you used to practice, I definitely think there's a correlation there of why the Patriot product has decreased, right? Obviously, other teams have been drafting talent, and it's like, yo, talent's going to supersede some things after a while if you don't have to maybe practice as much, but because you're so talented, it just takes over on Sunday. But with here, it's like the practice is what made you the player you were on Sunday, and that's what they've been preaching up here for, his tenure. So I think that's what happened, honestly. And some guys that were maybe shitty practice players and were great on Sunday, they're not here as much. And I mean, it starts with the quarterback, which is what I'm going to transition to right now. He's had moments of, being good in practice, and then we see him on the field and, pun intended, he looks like a little giant. And it's unbelievable to me that he does his own version of the Fumaruski every fucking Sunday. Every Sunday. And I sat there and I tried to listen to my big brother Mike and tell me it's gonna be okay. He was trying to tell me that it was gonna work. He's gonna figure out at some point. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe because sometimes I've been the overreactor on this show, whether it be Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins. I have been. Okay. I can openly admit that. But I knew in my heart that what I was seeing was bullshit personified. And Mike trying to talk me out of it. I'm like, no, this. I'm like, and everything I was saying has come through from this. Like, that second pick on Sunday from that. It's like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. So I'll just ask the question just for me to get off the way. Mike, I'll start with you. Just could you believe they actually went back to him after what was going on? Like, so just elaborate beside the yes, because
okay,
like your radio. Okay, continue.
So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons as to why I think they went back to him and why I think it makes the most sense. And then also underscore why we're in this situation. I'll start with that first. Mm-hmm. So we all believe that Belichick is a smart coach. Like, at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want about him, but he is a pretty smart coach. Yeah. At the end of the game, press conference, somebody asked him, what was behind the decision to pull Mac and start Bailey in the second half? And he said, and I quote, I think that based on the way that they both practiced, they both deserved a chance to play. Bill doesn't think that you need one quarterback if you have two. You can win with any quarterback. That is the summary of that statement. He doesn't care. He doesn't believe. He's never believed in the position. He's always evaluated the position. Why do I think they're going to keep going back to Mac? One, because he does give you the best chance to win if you have a team around him. They don't. But also, I think Bill kind of feels like the Patriots organization is hanging him out to dry. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to say, "Fuck you! I'm gonna hang your guy out to dry. You want to let me go at the end of the year? At the end of the year, Bob Kraft. I'm gonna make sure for every single week going on, I'm gonna start Matt and I'm gonna bench him. I'm gonna remind everybody that this is your guy. This is the guy that you wanted me to pick, and he ain't gonna be able to win. Like, they broke him. Mac Jones is so far broken. DK and I were talking about this in the chat a couple of weeks ago about how I was going to say that he would, I wanted to say that Mac will be a starting quarterback in the league in 5 years. No, he won't. He will not be able to overcome this. And I do think that is some of Bill's spite playing into it. But what made that second interception so bad was the ball that he threw to Devontae Parker right before it. He threw it to where he had to throw it perfectly to fit it between two defenders and hit it right in the chest. And guess what? He fucking did it. And then the very next throw, this asshole throws off his back foot to only the Giants. That's it. He only threw it to them. He hit his target. And it was embarrassing. But I mean, to highlight it further, Bailey Zappi is intercepted in the third quarter on that particular route. Only two people were running routes. You had Devontae Parker running a clear out and Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, running a deep end. It was a cover one safety. Zappi only had to make one read, and he made the wrong one. So,
what? It's either A or A. Bailey, A or A? Okay,
No.
let's see.
Oh
No.
my God.
No. A. All right, got you this time. F.
Right.
What?
Right.
I don't know what you can add to that, but I'm just like it's wild. Do you think they should keep going back to him, or are you surprised they kept going back to him? To Mac?
I mean, no, I'm not surprised at all because from what I've heard from the reports and like the media and stuff like that is the Patriots team knew that Mac was starting all week. Ramondre said it, Zeke said it. They said no, we knew Mac was starting. So I think Belichick is having a little fun because he's fucking 2-9, and I just don't think he gives a shit at this point. He's like, well, if this team, like Mike said, if this team's gonna go down on fire, then I'm going to pour gasoline on this shit for everyone every single week so we can just see how big of a dumpster fire this is because that's really the only explanation at this point. Because I read something else too that was like, if you're on the Patriots defense, right, how can you not be going to your coaches and just be like, can we just try someone else? Can we bring some Joe Schmo off the street? Because guys, I don't think ever. Like, we've seen Zach Wilson play bad. We've seen some bad quarterback play in our lifetime. I don't think I've ever seen someone go from such promise to where you're dropping dimes as a rookie. You guys remember those first few games when he was a rookie, we were like, oh shit, big boy throw, Mac Jones. Like, he's dropping, because like we had legit belief in this dude. But he is by far the worst quarterback that I watch every single Sunday. And it's not, I think he's much.
Well, that's only because you don't watch Bryce Young.
But yeah, I feel like that's different. You got to give him more time. Mac Jones is who he is, man.
Yeah. No, I listen. I think that
Mac Jones is worse than Bryce Young.
No, you could also that's not even, that's just look at what happened in the first year.
He has far less talent than Bryce Jones ever will. Bryce Young.
You mean
Bryce Jones?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like even in
you said it right, and it is Bryce.
Bryce Jones. I mean,
they just look different. That's the only difference.
even in year one when they were losing, Mac Jones looked confident. Even when he's getting his ass whooped, like he looked confident.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked confident in the 2 wins this year, and he looks far worse in all the other games. Because again, how do you explain what Bill is doing to this kid if it's not just to break him for good? He has been benched in 4 games this season and has been the starter the next game every single time.
It's so funny every time because it's like, and then every single time he gets benched, every pundit, every single one is like, well, that's the end of Mac Jones. And Bill's like, no, it's fucking not. Here he comes again. Like, it's, yeah.
The end of Mac Jones.
Yeah.
The end of Mac Jones was the game in Buffalo that we won when he threw 3 passes. Because Bill that was Bill saying, I truly don't need a fucking quarterback to beat a good team. I don't.
Do you remember they were number 1 on the power rankings after that week?
They were first in the AFC East.
They won like 7 in a row. I mean, they deserved to be at the time, but it's just like, do you remember how mad I was about that after that when we taped? So remember, I was pissed. I was like, how do you have him only throw 3 passes? Like, it didn't feel like a real win, and boy, was I right.
You were.
That really was the end of it, huh? That really was like the downward spiral from there, man.
I would say the last great performance we've seen was in Minnesota last year.
Yes, but
that was
after that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
When Hunter Henry got robbed, and then it was like that was it. Like, we have not seen anything good.
Yeah, but you look at that though. Bill looks at those 2 games and says, I only needed you to throw 3 passes and we beat the Bills, and you needed to throw 55 passes and we lost to the Vikings. So Bill's still saying,
I mean, well, shit, meet me in the middle. Like, what are we doing? Meet me in the middle.
I'm with you.
25 to 30 passes, I think is fine. Listen, Ramondre was good Sunday. He was good.
I think he's tanking. I honestly do think Bill is tanking. There's but bro,
not. Like, this team is just that bad, bro. Like, that team just is that bad, and I get it. I love.
You don't think he told Ryland to miss that field goal? I never heard him. I never heard him call out a kicker. He doesn't call out people like that in public ever. In public and literally goes, yeah, he needs to be better. That was unacceptable. Bro, that doesn't happen. You know what I
Well,
mean? He doesn't
he
ever blame
drafted
one person. He
in
blames everyone.
In 2023, Bill Belichick drafted more people on special teams than he did on offense. And this year, their special teams just committed the most penalties in the league. He's not tanking.
Yep.
He's
And
just
so much money's been given to special teams, so much money's been given to the defense. And once again, because I was in someone mentioned to me earlier. Oh, like that it was a build up that stat you said about them, back to back games of 10 points, and then I think them like the last 4 games has been at 13 a game. So I was thinking, think about that: 13 points a game you've allowed the last 4, and you're 0-3, or last 4 we should say, and you're 0-3. That's fucking wild. That's wild.
Yep.
Once again, you held that Miami offense to 24 early in the year. Like, there's the defense is overrated. No, he put the most money towards the defense. That's why they can still give a performance like they've been giving. If they've just had some semblance of an offense, they might be near 500 right now. Maybe, but it's just like
That's two years in a row. 2 years in a row. If they had a professional offense, not even a good offense. It didn't even have to be. It had to be a professional offense. That's it. You know what I mean? Bare minimum. If you average 20 points a game, that team with that defense is absolutely over 500. Maybe not this year, but last year for sure.
Yeah, like it's a joke. So we kind of talked about it when we touched on the Bryce Young thing. So listen, Frank Reich got fired from Carolina today. Some Patriots.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. So he's been attached. Well, not Frank Reich hasn't been attached up here, but some of our guys like Jerome Mayo, Bill O'Brien. I don't know everybody else has been attached to the Carolina job in recent memory, but do we think anybody goes down there? So Bobby, I'll start with you. Like, do you think anybody from the Lewis staff ends up going down there? And would it make sense to go?
No. I think if anyone was gonna leave, it was happening last year. I think Mayo had a few jobs lined up, and I think that that's his job of the future. I mean, unless there's other plans in the works for Vrabel or like something like that, I just feel like that makes the most sense. He's there, he knows everyone, so I don't think so. And it's not like there's anyone else on this staff right now that is looking desirable to be a head coaching candidate. You know what I mean? Bill O'Brien looks like another joke of an offensive coordinator once again. So I mean, he's the only guy that you would think would leave, right? That would consider that.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone from here would want to go to Carolina for 2 reasons. One, that ownership group has proven like that they're just like they look like they're just a bunch like kids playing with their toy, right? The Carolina Panthers are going to be paying Matt Rule and Frank Reich $20 million combined until 2027, and neither of them will be on the head coach. They don't have a first round pick next year because they wanted all that. They gave all their draft capital to draft the wrong guy, Bryce Young, instead of CJ Stroud. So they have now set their franchise back probably 3 to 4 more years because they don't have the guy. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Ray, but I don't think Gerard Mayo is the next head coach of the New England Patriots. I think that Kraft would have loved that to happen. I think that was the initial plan. I don't think they thought it was going to go as bad as quickly as it has, because I think that they wanted to give Mayo some more reps. Maybe this is like a 2 to 3 year plan. I don't know that he's ready to take over the room. And honestly, I don't want anyone remaining here with the stench of Bill. I want a completely different philosophy, completely different. So, and if you're Mayo and you say, listen, I want to stay and learn a different way, because he's different. Like everyone says, well, Patriot players, Bill's former players have gone on to be good coaches. Yes, because they didn't learn how to be coaches from him. I mean, Vrabel was never a coach under Bill, ever. Right. So I think, it would probably behoove of Mayo to stay under a new regime and learn a different way to do it, and then be a good head coaching candidate. I think that it's unfair for him, the position that he's being put in, but this team got too bad too quick, and he can't be I don't think he could be the next guy. Now it's because I don't know what his offensive philosophies are.
and it can't be just. I don't know. To me, I'm with you. I want everyone out. Like, get the fuck out. Bye. Like, I can't see anybody else. Like, I know Mike Reese is high on Vrabel. I'm sorry, and I know Mike Reese is super tapped in. I get it. I understand, but I don't want Vrabel. I don't want Mayo. I don't want anybody named Belichick. Like, Steven, he can roll his tongue to fucking Hawaii if he wants to. I'm all set. It's either Bobby Slowick or Ben Johnson. That's
Ben Johnson's the guy, guys. Ben Johnson's the guy.
Yep.
I mean, think about what Slowick has done with Stroud too. Like, that matters to me. But I agree with Bobby. Ben Johnson is a guy that should be, at least, considered. Once again, he may go elsewhere. But I just think, to me, we're going to see a lot more, coaches gone on Black Monday, obviously. And
I saw a report that said seven potential head coach openings on Black Monday is what I heard.
I just hope that Bill's the first one. I hope that Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, whoever, I hope that they are out there at 8 a.m. So just get up on your spinners there and just say, hey, Bill Belichick has been let go by the New England Patriots.
I think
because I would cut the biggest promo on our X page, and I'll give you a little glimpse. I would say, woo! With a tear in my eye, I consider this to be the happiest day of my life. Like, hey, go Patriots, baby.
some serious shade towards Belichick, but like I get it. I get it.
I'm done, and I'm sorry.
I get it.
I know, brother. I know, DK. I know you'll say, hey man, it's revisionist history. No, I'm sorry, Dave. Like, I'm sorry. Fuck Bill. That's where I'm at right now. The game has passed them by. We literally had the football Popovich, and as much as I love Pop, the game has passed them by. I mean, we're seeing him crumble right now, even with the guy that's supposed to be the best thing since LeBron James. So, to me, the old regime, there's a place for it to an extent. But some's got to give, and I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait until they say, because my thing is, you can't have this top 3 pick and then you're letting Belichick make the decision. You can't. You can't. But it's gonna be a fucking long snapper from Boise, Idaho, and I'm gonna fucking lose it. So I can't. Like, I promise you, Bobby, I will become a Dallas Cowboy fan if that happens.
Bro, we'll welcome you on board.
Yeah, you'll just do a
bandwagon open,
20 years, just 20 years later. You'll just root for the Patriots.
Listen, it's about to be 20 years, and they keep Bill. It's going to be 20 years before they win a Super Bowl right now. So I might as well jump over if that's okay.
I just
fucking ridiculous.
So I'm 100% with you. Where it's like, I feel like we're at an impasse with head coaches really across like the landscape of sports at this point, and I think Bill Belichick is kind of like the headpiece of this older regime of coaches that were great in the early 2000s. It's like Belichick, Popovich, Frank Reich, who got fired today. Like, I think he's part of that. The Shanahans, like all these guys that were not the younger Shanahans, like the old, that were great, but now the game is absolutely passing them by. And I feel like Belichick is like the headpiece of that. McCarthy's on that list. I'm not sure Andy Reid's there yet, but I feel like it's just
he's time. He's got Mahomes.
As long as so he won't go into there as long as he has Mahomes. But like, I just feel like it's time for the new group of head coaches to come in and change football, because we're at a point in football, like with guys like Belichick, guys like Reich, guys like McCarthy, where like you see the ancientness in their game. You just see the way they put their team together, the way they strategize versus a team like Miami or a team like Philadelphia or a team like Detroit, where they have like this new blood and like excitement and like, you know what I mean? Like a hoorah feeling rather than like this is fucking business. And it's like,
once again, I have it. And I don't care about the Bill Pollins of the world coming on the podcast. I'm they should have let go of Bill because look what happened with me. Hey, this ain't we pay men to save you, Bill Polian. Sorry,
Same thing. He's old news, man. He's that same.
And you got smoked, buddy. You got smoked. Let's call a spade. You went to 4 straight, and the Giants smacked you. The Cowboys smacked you before y'all even got off the bus. It was over. So relax. Like I desire. I got to have a new regime, and if I don't, like I'm considering leaving my fandom there. And for one, I cannot watch another down next season of seeing that hoodie on the sideline and saying, yeah, we just have to do better. And
I got a question for you guys though.
Joke.
Does it make you appreciate the rest of the NFL and like watching football a little more, that you can't rely on the powerhouse of the NFL to make you enjoy your Sunday every week? Like, what are you doing to compensate for that? Because there's got to be something.
I sleep, Bobby. Like I'm not happy, Bobby. Hey, you think I'm happy? You think I wanted this? You think I'm pleased by this, Bobby? Are you?
It's the best answer. That was the best answer.
I'm not happy for you guys. Like, happy that you got the 83. I'm happy that DK gets to watch Justin Fields and DJ Moore and potentially get Marvin Harrison next year. Happy about that shit. He won the prominence back in Route 1. And it's better when the big market teams are doing well. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. So no, I'm not happy. Sorry, Mike. I know I just jumped into that, but you can take me about. No, I'm not happy. No.
It just, the thing that is the most infuriating to me, and I've said it in the chat, is that this year in the AFC was prime for the taking, and Bill you didn't have to be 8-2. You could have been 7-5 at this point in time, and you would be the 3rd or 4th seed in the AFC. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And he can't blame a GM because he is the GM. He can't blame a draft because he picks the players. He put all of these pieces together. Like, everyone says, well, the defense has injuries. And that's true. There have been no injuries on offense. Everyone's going to say Kendrick Bourne. Yeah, he was buried to be the number 3 wide receiver at week 1. So Bill already did not value him as number 1 anyway. So this offense is as healthy as it was in week 1. And you are seeing quite possibly the most offensive version of offense in recent memory. Like, I truthfully can't remember. I would say like the 2000 Ravens offense with Trent Dilfer, they look like the greatest show on fucking turf compared to what we're watching.
Oh, they blow them out of the water, bro. Blow this team out of the water. Oh yeah.
Think about when they beat Oakland, right? Long before they came Vegas. Trent Dilfer threw a 90-yard in cut to Shannon Sharp, and that was the ball game. That was right. We don't have anyone that, well, I mean, Pop could go 90 if they actually has someone that can block in front of him.
If he's not dying on the field, yeah.
Right. I mean, he looked good yesterday. I mean, I think
that dude got knocked the fuck out yesterday.
Listen, I mean, I feel like that's gonna be a weekly thing with him. Like, it's just a matter of is he gonna get back up or not.
That's what I mean. He gets hit, man. That dude gets hit.
Like, hey, come on, do something type thing, right? So I don't know, but I just, to me,
it's a great point though.
But yeah, no, I just but there's no way there should be no big market team happy with their team looking like shit. And if you are, like, I don't know what to tell you. So
you got to get your rocks off somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching a lot more basketball, and we'll get into that.
I've been rooting hard for the Texans, Bobby. To be completely honest.
Yeah. I mean, Charles been killing it. Obviously, Baltimore's been doing really, really well. So, there's teams that are good. But can I say I'm actively watching the way I usually would? No, I'm not, and I won't sit here and act like I am. Like I said, I've been watching NBA, and I don't even have League Pass. But I've just been catching up on everything I can of this NBA. So I want to talk about one more thing football-wise before we get into the Celtics. So me and Michael talked about Jayden Daniels. I'm actually happy that you had to have Bobby on the show, because me and Bobby are Probably the only two that watch college football consistently on here because it's just great. And we enjoy.
But hold on, no, I watched every week of Colorado and Mizzou this year.
Love that. But
Mizzou was pretty good this year. Mizzou was good this year.
Yeah, they sure as hell are.
Really good. And yeah, I just think Jayden Daniels, man. I'm nervous because he was someone that we could have gotten the second round if everything had felt right. Now with him being a Heisman favorite and he's been balling the fuck out the last 5 or 6 weeks, mainly against my Gators. He gave us 500 yards combined. I was sick by halftime watching it, but I was happy because I was like, man, this dude is lethal. So, Mike, I'll start with you. Is it, do we absolutely have to have either Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Daniels? Like, is it one of those three or bust?
So I know that I went on a rant about Carolina not being a destination right now because they kind of they mortgaged their future and they made a terrible pick. But if I were the Patriots right now, because ideally Jayden Daniels would have stayed at the top of the second round, where he was projected to go as of like the end of September, mid-October. Since then, he's lit the world on fire. And why people are so impressed with him is that I'm not discounting his targets, but he doesn't have Mac Jones, Alabama targets. He is throwing for 3,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, I think. No, like 6 picks this year. And he's throwing to average to good wide receivers. So that tells me that he could be a really good professional quarterback. He doesn't have a biggie.
Neighbors is nice, though. Neighbors are nice. Yeah, I don't know what the other was, but Willie Neighbors is nice.
But there's no Jamar Chase. There's no Devontae Smith, right? There's no John Mechie. So he'll play. So here's what I would do. If I would do the Patriots right now, if you can get a top 3 draft pick, I would trade next year's first and a second to get another top 10 pick this year, because I would still take Marvin Harrison Jr. over any of those first quarterbacks and then get Jayden Daniels. Because as I said a couple weeks ago, but Bobby, you weren't here. My opinion, I could be wrong. I very often am. If you draft Caleb Williams and let's just say everything's equal, he comes in, he's thrown to Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster as your number 1, number 2, and then Kendrick Bourne, right? But if you get Marvin Harrison Jr., now he makes everyone on that offense better because he's your number 1. Juju is a fine number 2. Devontae Parker is a fine number 3. So if you can figure out a way to get him and Jayden Daniels, but I don't think you're going to be able to do that now because he's on a tear. So we're going to need to find a good enough quarterback in the second round.
Well,
I think
who else in the top 10? I don't have the draft order.
Drake May.
No. I'm saying like who else in the top 10 like would need a QB. Also, I can think of as Vegas. And
the Giants, if they give up on Jones, which is looking like they're going to.
They just had to mention extension.
Yeah, does that really matter though? I mean, if you can get one of these quarterbacks and you're gonna try and roll back out what you saw this year at the beginning of the year and Daniel Jones, bro. New York's not gonna let that fly. Not a chance.
And then the Rams. Like if they keep losing balls in the top 10, they're going to need a quarterback.
The Bears, obviously, I think you said that.
Yeah, well, unless they shock the fucking world, like they have the potential here to say fuck it and just draft him number 1, Marvin Harrison number 1 overall, and fuck the rest of the NFL, because that would do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me know what y'all think about that, because someone told me this earlier. I think right now they're at 1 and 4. So your point, Mike, where they drafted Harrison at 1 and got Bowers at 4 in Chicago. For Justin,
they would love that.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
I think that would be fucking crazy.
It really depends on what they decide on fields, right? I mean, that's really what's going to shake up the entire draft. It dictates what the Patriots end up doing, because the Bears having 2 top 5 picks is like Madden. Like, they control so much power at the beginning of that draft based off of what they do. Because, bro, if they're not going to pick a quarterback, they could trade that first pick or that for you know what I mean. Trade that back to 2, get a whole boatload, and then still take Marvin Harrison. And the quarterback's gone now. You know what I mean? So, but Marvin Harrison, to your point, Mike, I agree. He's the pick. He's the pick.
Yeah.
If he's there, and you can build your whole offense around a guy like him. You know what I mean? In today's NFL, I truly believe that the number 1 wide receiver is more important than the difference between like excellent quarterback and above average quarterback.
Yeah,
if that
and
makes sense.
Jamar Chase proved that.
Yeah. And Stephon Diggs.
Right. Well, I mean, not
Kind of.
Yeah, to a point.
Well,
I'd say to the same extent as Chase, though. I mean, the Bengals went to it.
yeah, but I mean, Cincinnati literally like took off, like 2 AFC championship games, Super Bowl appearance, like
So did the Bills, though. Don't forget, Josh Allen was kind of a joke until Stephon Diggs came to town.
no, for sure. But
yeah.
He had what I thought was the best game I saw in the postseason. Outside of the Super Bowl, it was phenomenal. But then once again, his claim to fame was that game. Nothing has happened since then. You know what I'm saying?
The Vikings won.
No, I'm talking about the Bills and Chiefs a couple years ago.
Oh, you're talking about Josh Allen. Okay,
yeah. But you know, that was that. But yeah, I don't know. I just think I think the two of those 2 tackles will be taken in the top 10 as well. The kid from Notre Dame and then the kid from Penn State. They will be in the top 10. I don't know where they're going to, but they will be in the top 10. I think to me, the way Fields has been sacked at times, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those picks is a tackle. Someone's going to drop that we didn't think was going to drop. That always happens. Once again, that's like Christian Gonzalez last year.
Yeah.
Someone's going to drop. So I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know, what ends up happening. There's going to be someone that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my God, well, that's what happened with Jayden Daniels. But someone else is going to get hot these next few weeks, and it's like, oh, we got to get them. Well, they had a really great Senior Bowl, so we got to make sure that they're in the top 15. So, and believe it or not, I think Bo Nix goes in the first round too. And
I like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix a lot. I think that
sounds wild because he's older than all 3 of us. But I just think to me, he's going to get drafted in the first round, and he's Chris Winkie 2.0. So that's if you know type moment there. So, but either way, you got to find a way to get a quarterback.
I don't know if that's a good thing if you're looking to draft Bo Nix to be Chris Winkie 2.0. But
of course not. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to be a bust at the next level.
Oh, okay. So you don't like Bo?
I think he's trash. But yeah. So we'll see. Well, I mean, you got Penix from Washington. You got yeah, he's nice. Little too strong with the arm. Like it usually sails off to the right sometimes. But I'm here for him.
And Boston loves a good penis joke. I can already hear the Penix penis comparison, man. I can already see it happening.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yes. You know it's true. We both know it's true.
Right. But yeah, I could totally see that happening. Or even, we end up in the second or third round getting JJ McCarthy from Michigan. I can see that happening too. I think he benefits from the running game a lot. I think Blake Corum has made him look better, but we'll see. But we'll leave it at that. So let's get into the Boston Celtics. Man, 13-4. They definitely have come out the gate stronger than I thought. I thought that they would have some chemistry issues with all the changes they've had, but they've still played very, very well. So Mike, I'll start with you. Just do you think even with the 13-4 start, like, do you think we're starting to see some chinks in their armor, or do you still think they're very strong as currently constructed?
Well, I think that this is the strongest starting 5 or 6 that we've had since the championship year, right? For sure. I think the chink in the armor for all intents and purposes is going to be, can Porzingis play more games per year than the Time Lord did when he was here? Because if he can, we will be fine. But
Right.
we're 17 games in and he's missed 5. So he's missed, is that 28% of the games?
Three, right? Is it 5?
He's going to be out tomorrow too. Already
Okay.
declared he's out.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
So 18 games, and that will be his 4th or 5th. So he's missed a quarter of the games. Like that's good, and it's not rest. It's it's a sore, knee or Achilles or something like that. But if he can stay healthy, and when I say stay healthy, if he can play 60 to 65 games this year, then I think we're going to be fine. Because having him there alleviates the bench. The bench hasn't been great, but I think that they've shown over the last couple of games that if we need 25 points from them, that they can deliver. The problem is without Porzingis, you're going to need more than 25 points per game from the bench.
Well, no, that was the Celtics doctors calling me right now, and they let me know it was going to be fine. But yeah, so
in case anyone out there doesn't know, Ray has the inside information because he works at the Garden. All right.
That's right.
when I see him walking around tomorrow, I'm gonna say, "Hey, I expect you to be there Friday." Once again, I mean, we don't need him to beat Chicago. And once again,
If you care about the in-season tournament, yes, we do, because we need
we'll get into it.
To even qualify.
They gotta beat them tomorrow, and some other things have to happen for that. But no, I know you was about to go, Bobby. So give your thoughts on where they are so far.
I just think exactly what Mike said. We know what they are full strength. I think they definitely have depth issues. Based off of who we've been seeing on the floor the past couple nights and who's been active. I think that we do need a little bit more in case one of these guys is out. We'll get to him in a little bit. Cade is huge. If he's actually something, that's the whole different situation. That's huge for this team. But Kristaps, it makes such a big difference, and it's so obvious, man. The decisiveness of the offense in crunch time moments is noticeably different. And that's where the biggest thing has shown to me, where the offense doesn't look so stagnant when it gets time for important possessions. Like there's actually ball movement. There's player movement. You know what I mean? And most of that facilitates around Kristaps in those situations. I know like Tatum has his own plays too, but like still, there's still ball screens with Kristaps off ball. And those are things that we just didn't see in the past. So as long as we're full strength, and Jrue is even more important in my opinion. I feel like he lets Derek White do so many different things. He opens up so much offense for White and everyone else. But yeah, as long as we're healthy, I agree. Best top 5 in the league, by far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just think to me, I think Joe has to trust the players on the bench. I think they're first going 8 deep. Once again, it's cool in the playoffs, but we can't just run out 8 guys every game like they're 05 Phoenix Suns. I think that's going to work. It's like that to me is wild. So
do you think a little bit of that is them trying to prove who they were coming into the season, and that it'll change as we get deeper? You think that's possible? That's complete speculation, but
yeah. But before we get to that, I just want to touch on a report that Mike just sent us. So Porzingis is going to get reevaluated in about after a week or so. So that's probably around Friday. And once again, I'm totally fine with that because
that's as of yesterday, by the way. So
I think so. If they do, honestly, that makes me actually hope they lose tomorrow night, because what that means is they would have some more of that rest while other teams are in Vegas for that tournament. So some games that be added, but I'd rather the rest, honestly. So because we could talk about that, because it's something we spoke about earlier when we met about it. So do we prioritize the rest over the IFC, or would you rather see them go first to get it? So
yes, you prioritize rest over the IST, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
I think logically Bobby's right. And I think that you want to preserve as much as you can for the postseason. But there's this little part of me and I'm open to criticism, so please give it to me. That just wants to see this team win something. I want them to get it in their heads that they can win something, because I feel like if like all the great teams in the NBA or any sport, but like that 08 or that 07 08 Celtics team, 66 and 16, you weren't going to beat them. You just weren't. But they took 16 nights off throughout the course of that year. That's it. They had a hard time, obviously, in the playoffs. That Warriors team from a couple of years ago that won 70 games. Like again, I don't think you don't mortgage the postseason for the in-season tournament, but if it's there for you to do it, then do it, because I think that psychologically, Brown and Tatum need to hoist a trophy. They just do, and for it to matter.
Yeah, I mean that's valid. I didn't think about it from that perspective. I did see the turn of some folks like, oh, who cares about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, I like, no. I said you were excited about it until they lost to Orlando the other day. So it's okay to be excited about new things in the league. I just think now, once again, if you're going to be out, if Porzingis is going to be out for the rest of this week, was there any reports on Holiday? I didn't see anything reports on him.
He did a day.
He did a day. So okay, so it's just like I was there Friday whenever that injury happened. I didn't see what had happened to him, so I don't know whether they're trying to get him kind of right. Because I felt like the last few games he had been kind of off, honestly. At least offensively. Defensively, he's been everything as advertised. You literally don't have to switch with him on the floor because he's guarding Embiid.
He's fucking unbelievable, bro. Yeah,
it's unreal. And once again, I know those for listeners are, well, you have Marcus Smart to do the same thing. Those switching. Marcus Smart had very great moments, a lot of great moments defensively. So I won't sit here and say that wasn't the case, because I'd be lying. But there was moments when you still had to double, and you don't have to double at all with Jrue Holiday.
Well, bro, I honestly feel like all those years I was insulting Jrue Holiday and his defensive prowess by ever thinking that Marcus Smart was a better defensive player than him, because it's really not even that close. I think Smart makes impacts, but I don't think it's that close.
No,
yeah, I mean, Holiday makes every play. Marcus Smart would make one of those like important, emotional plays that you remember, and you would forget about all the. I know plus minus in basketball, it doesn't really matter, but the reason why Marcus Smart had such a negative plus minus was because of all of the points that were scored off of his errant shots that you don't get with Jrue Holiday. He's efficient. If he doesn't have a look, he's not going to take a stupid shot, and he tries to make everybody else better. But like, to your point, right? Like the in-season tournament. Can I just talk about what needs to happen tomorrow or today as you listen? So Boston needs to beat the Chicago Bulls at home by at least 23 points. Brooklyn also needs to beat Toronto at home. But Brooklyn needs to win that game by a margin of 15 or fewer points than Boston's margin of victory for the Celtics to advance. I'm all for the in-season tournament. I just need it to be clearer. I need it just wins and losses. That's it. And if there's a tiebreaker, fine. But the Celtics can go 3-1 in their pool, but then their last victory needs to be 23 points higher than the Nets. Stop. Just stop all that madness. So I think that they need to go all out. I just because if you win an in-season tournament, it means that you're beating other teams that are competing at times that they probably weren't going as hard in the years past. You're going to get, I think it's not going to be playoffs, but it is close to that intensity. Like this is the most, I would say these are the most meaningful November and December games minus the Christmas Day showdowns that always happen. That we've seen in ever for really. So yeah, go for it.
Great, Bob.
I just if you can qualify, yes. I just don't want to see them sacrifice any kind of the future to do so. I couldn't agree more about the points thing though. I feel like they should go to like some kind of point system. Like if you want to do it by margin of victory, then like give them, instead of just like 1 point for a regular win, if they get 2, if they win by like 20 or more, get 2 points, or 30 points, get 3 points. I don't know, but yeah, I just don't want to see. I agree with the sentiment that they need to lift a trophy. I get it. They need to win something. They've had so many catastrophic playoff failures in such a short amount of time earlier in their career. I get the mentality for sure. I just don't know if it's as important for them. I feel like it's more important. I like that more mindset more for Joe. Honestly, I feel like it would go a long way for Missoula, for his confidence and for the fans' confidence and for the organization's confidence and just everyone's confidence in his job. If he could lead them to that in-season tournament championship, I think that would go a long way for him more than it would for like Tatum.
They held Atlanta to the lowest point total they've had this year, and instead of saying we're glad that Boston won, immediately folks were saying, "I still want Joe Mazzulla gone." That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And a victory. Not
It's a toxic culture, man.
Not to get beat by 40. Not someone choking in the final moments. You win by double digits. You got two guys that, Horford gets 15 rebounds. Tatum had 30 plus. Brown had over 20. Derek White had 10 assists or 11 assists, excuse me. And I'm like, the first thing you go to is you still fire Joe? Like, I just once again, and we led the chance a lot last year on the show, so I don't want to make it seem like we are beyond that because we're not. But it's like, damn, they still won 57 games last year. Like that's once again not an opinion, it's a fact.
Yeah.
And once again, they started off last year at 21-5. 21-5. So I mean, once again, they're on pace to do that. Well, I mean, they may go past the 5 losses this year, but they're on their way. They're on their way. Once again, they could be 15-4 by the end of this week. And once we talked about in the schedule, we talked about you just got to go 15-5 4 times. Well, they're close. They're real close to going 15-5 in the first 20. So I don't know how it just always goes to that. And I'm just like, and then once again, as someone who has spent plenty of times being negative, it's just like, yo, enough's enough at some point. Like, damn, like it's okay to be critical, but like, my God, like every time something goes down, someone's got to be fired. Like, what the fuck? Like that's ridiculous. Like, let it go. Let it go.
I also think that, a lot of the uproar, like from us last year and, all of Celtics Twitter, which is just such a great cesspool to look at every once in a while when you're feeling down about yourself.
It's so toxic, man.
Like Missoula was navigating uncharted waters and like for himself, he had no idea what to do in big game situations, nor should he have, because it was his first year head coach. I think Brad surrounding him with everyone that he did, that should stabilize. And like to you and Bobby's point, their conviction on offense this year is 1,000 times better than it was last year, because when they're rolling that they're doing it's not just jacking up 73s. They're shooting a shit ton of threes, but it's not someone shooting a three with someone else in your face. They are working for it. They are making that extra pass. How many times this year have you heard whatever commentator, whether it's national or local guys, say like, great job on the extra pass? Whereas last year that wasn't happening.
I think the best example of that was the play. I want to say it was early last week. It was it started with Porzingis at the top of the key. He gave it to Jrue as he was driving, and then he passed it around the dude as he was driving to the hoop for Tatum for the open three. And it was it was just so crisp and clean, and just like it just was like, yes, that's the offense we've been waiting for, man. That's it right there.
But even yesterday, Tatum had Jrue too. He has a skip pass that I didn't even see. He finds Hauser in the corner. Hauser buried to 3, and I was like, oh, like that's in your bag. Like, whoa, I didn't fucking know. That's amazing. Like more, like what's that overseeing commercial? More please. More that please. More passes to the corner like that. Because that's what happens when you build to the corners and don't cave, and that you have actual spacing on the floor. And my boy Rick, this is for you. I can apologize to Sam Hauser on air. I was, and I'm still somewhat critical of him, but I was real critical of him in the beginning of the season. I wanted him off the team. I felt like he just wasn't doing anything. He has been great in November. Shout out to Mandy Moore, November to Remember. It's been it's been great. It's been great. Yes, I'm old with that reference, but some of you
Right, your references are just out of control sometimes, man. Just out of you just pull them from like a box of 1990s. Just
and
like
just
deep
and he's just
cuts, bro.
he's making up Mandy Moore movies for no reason. Like
just
that's
casually, just
So it's a walk to remember, not November to remember.
Walk to remember. There we go.
November to
That's
remember.
I know. So that definitely thing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Man,
You would listen if that was a real movie, Rayshawn. You would.
No, listen. I do want something that's that, but I'm like, yeah, I doubled that with November, but either way,
that was good. That was
but I did like Mandy Moore. I did like her. But
she was my favorite out of the whole group. She was my favorite.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. So, oh my gosh, but well, that was on the bingo card. Mandy Moore reference in 2023, but
on a sports podcast, yeah, it wasn't
on a sports podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh well, from another person that we didn't think could be mentioned.
Sometimes I run.
Right.
No,
yeah.
That's Britney Spears. That's Britney Spears.
Right. Yeah. To someone else that mentioned in 2023, but he is now that he's a part of the Celtics is Neemias Queta, right? Someone who's been killing. He was killing in the preseason. Unfortunately, he gets labored with that foot injury. That takes away some of his time so far. But yesterday, has his best showing so far in the season. I think he was a +5 in 15 minutes, 7 points, 10 rebounds. So Mike, I'll start with you. Obviously, we talked about some depth issues that we've had as a team, but if we see more of this from Queta, does that solve the issue of having an extra big, or do you still want them to go and get another rotational piece as they progress in the season?
Well, I still like your original plan from a couple weeks ago of getting Blake Griffin to come back in January. But listen, if Queta can keep doing that, that's not only is that going to help Porzingis, but it's going to help Horford, who we've seen this year has been. I think he's been perfect in the sense that he's doing all of the right things on the court, and you need to prolong that for as much as possible. So if you can get his minutes from on average 10 minutes a game. If you can get him to like the 16 minutes a game mark and he's doing 9 rebounds, 8 points a game, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. Because that we know that if Al Horford is healthy and he has his legs in the playoffs, we are a better team. Like we just are, because he's a general on the floor. So I don't know if this solves it. I think it helps alleviate it a little bit though.
Well, I think it's so clear of what kind of energy having someone like that brings out, that you saw that at the end of the one game that Kate has played significant minutes. Al maybe had his most impactful 5 minutes of the season so far. And there's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? That offensive rebound he got was probably the biggest offensive rebound we've had so far this year. You know what I mean? Like that stopped such a big run. It was the personification of Al Horford, that rebound. You know what I mean? It really was. And I saw a quote that Jalen was getting checked in. He was at the scorer's table. Al made that rebound, and him and Joe Mazzulla made eye contact. And I guess they both just looked at each other like, holy shit, how lucky are we to have this fucking guy? And if you can get that version of Al Horford, it makes his team so much better. So he's so important if he can actually provide those minutes, because like, listen, I love Cornet. I do. I the murder Cornet. You guys know I'm all on that train.
Right.
But I don't want to see him on the floor if Kate is healthy. If I'm being perfectly honest. If you don't, you know what I mean? Kate gets those minutes 100 out of 100 times now, because the energy and presence that he brought, like he was an actual down low presence for 10 to 15 minutes of that game. You know what I mean? And that's something that's been so lacking without Porzingis and when Rob was gone. If they can actually have someone bring that with these guys off the floor, man, that's so huge. So huge.
I want him to take his time on the catch. I think that because he's processing everything a million miles a minute, like I feel like it's like he scrambles so he gets the ball. I want him on the catch. Just either give a the best move in basketball. Excuse me, it's still the pump fake. Give a little shoulder fake like Mikhail used to do, or even give the Rondo off ball fake, and it's like they jump, and as they're going down, you throw it down. That I think that to me would be a great addition to his game. The moments that he did slow down last night offensively, that's where he was able to get those buckets. So yeah, so I'm excited to see more of him once again if he's healthy. But yeah, I'm with you on the Cornette thing, Bobby. Like Cornette should not be in the game unless they're up 30. Like
or unless there's injuries. Injuries, I get it. He's fine. He's fine. 12 off the bench. You know what I mean? Like he's fine at that.
So I'm just like I think he had a couple good games against Brooklyn early in the season. Like,
yeah,
he's had some moments, but yeah. Listen, and someone could fact check this when they listen back to this. I'm not sure Al Horford's had 15 rebounds in a Celtic uniform, even during his first stint. I don't think he had 15 in the game. I know he's had 10 a few times, but I'm like he might not have had 15 rebounds since Atlanta. Like that's. So I was like, that was really cool to see him get 15 rebounds last night. And like you said, a lot of those moments happen next to Queta. Al is always more comfortable when he plays the 4. He does not love playing the 5. He said that when he first got here. He is a 4. And it's not disrespect on him, but it's gonna sound like disrespect what I'm about to say. He's always been like a Walmart, like Tim Duncan. But once again, to be a Walmart Tim Duncan means you're still very, very good. And once again, he's a five-time All-Star. Over 15,000.
Walmart's $1 billion company. Just
yeah, exactly. So,
$1 trillion company, probably.
Yeah, so still very valuable in his role. And like Mike said, I'm glad that we have him. He's done some things. So so we mentioned it a few moments ago, and we'll close out. So we got Chicago and Philly the rest of this weekend. Record this on a Monday night. So Chicago Tuesday night, Philly on Friday night. So, Bobby, I'll start with you. Just how do you see those games unfolding? What do you want to see from the Celtics on both ends of the ball against those two teams?
So we don't know if Jrue's playing yet, right? So is it expected? Do we have any idea?
Well,
day. So yeah,
I feel like they'll rest him again tomorrow. And then they have 2 days off, and then he'll probably come back Friday against Philadelphia.
I think what we're going to look out. So if Jrue doesn't play tomorrow, obviously that affects a lot. And what you look out for is, again, I think Kate is going to get some exceptional minutes tomorrow. We know Porzingis is out. So now that he's actually on the scene, I want to see what he can bring when his presence is like expected. You know what I mean? Like coming off the bench and having no expectations whatsoever is one thing, but these next 2 games, like the eyes are going to be on him. Celtics Nation is going to be watching this dude to see if he can actually bring it on a night to night basis. Right. Night to night basis. Other than that, man, I'm kind of sick. I don't want to see Jason Tatum disappear anymore. I'm so sick of it. And like, I love the dude so much. Like he's my favorite. I named my fucking daughter after him. Okay. Like I love Jason Tatum, but I'm so sick of him disappearing on random nights. Like the loss to, was it Magic?
Orlando?
Yeah. Magic. Bro, just fucking disappeared. It's like he wasn't even on the court half the game. It's like, dude, to be the guy that we all know you are. Because we know he is. We've seen it. He's here. That top 5 player in the NBA is here most nights. These next 2 nights, we need that top 5 player to put up 30 and 8 and hit 5, 6 threes. Like that's the guy we need. And if you're going to be an MVP, you're going to be that guy, then we need to see it when we need it most. And that's these next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think you need a full squad to beat the Bulls. The Bulls are like what are they 5-13? They're bad. They're not good this year. And I know in their last 5 they're 1-4. But without Porzingis, I think that it's going to be a hard rebounding game against them, and that's where they're going to be focused because I think Vucevic is averaging double-digit rebounds this year. And you got, I mean, I don't sleep on Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. I still think that they can do it. But listen, I think they're going to beat the Bulls by 24, so they can continue in this in season tournament. But all eyes should be on Philly. It's going to be interesting to see how they would contend against Philly without Porzingis. You got to hope that Jrue's back because if we need someone to stop Maxey because he's been killing us this season, and you're not going to stop Embiid. I mean, Horford's your best bet to slow him down. But even after playing 38 minutes on the first of a back-to-back, when he played against us, he was still up and down the floor. I mean, we used to shit on this guy because we said his cardio and his stamina wasn't good. He has worked his ass off to improve that over the past 2 or 3 years. All said and done, at the end of this week, we're 15-4.
Love that.
It is November though, so check back on me in that stamina once we get to June.
Well, no, I think that's when.
Yeah, but Embiid's never gotten to June, so why he doesn't have to worry about that.
That's a fair statement. That is a fair statement. I like that response.
Go right to Bar Street and get him a nice little cheese. With all the toppings that he desires. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think they do win both games this week. Once again, I know Philly is definitely a better team. I want to make sure that I say that I'm being honest. Like they're definitely a better team than they were last year. I feel like. However, I don't see DeAnthony Melton turning into Grant Hill against us like he did in the last fucking game. DeAnthony fucking fire. And I'm like, where did this come from? Like that jump shot was looking super smooth, crossing over people. I'm like, where was this in Memphis? Like that was never in his bag. I don't know if Tyrese Maxey's rubbing off for him or whatever. I don't know, but I think he's kind of been like their Tatum stopper, so to speak. And I need Tatum to remind him and everyone else on that team that when he's on, there's not a man on the planet that can stop him.
Agreed.
And it's just like, it's look, and see, you pointed about disappearing, right? It's funny because even I think against Atlanta, he didn't have a slow start the other night. He had 21 the first half, but it's like with him, it's like even he has that slow start where it's like 5 points, he's like 2 or 7. You can still wake up and it's like, oh shit, he's got 27, 11, and 5. And it's like, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? It's like that's where he's at a point now where he needs to see 1 or 2 go, and then it's a wrap. I personally just want them to say whoever is the guy that has it rolling, let them continue to cook. Like I feel like that's been a problem with Celtics basketball really since the Paul Pierce, KC Ray Allen days. Like when someone is hot, keep giving them the ball. Fuck passing it. If Tatum is hot, let him cook. If Jaylen Brown is hot, let him cook. If Derek White's hot, let him cook. Like let the hot go. Because you ride them until they miss a few shots in a row. Like that's just where I'm at with that. So I want to see that. Yes, I want to see the ball movement. It's been very sexy to see. I've had my basketball owner has been through the roof for that. You know what I'm saying? So love to see that, but I like to see individual performance. Like the other night or last night, we seen Tatum and Trey go at it. Trey got hot, and it was like I was like, here we go, because when he gets hot, it's like okay, here we go. That's what happened last year in the playoffs. Me and Bobby was cussing up a storm at every playoff game because we were doing so be on the lookout for that this playoff too. Me and Bobby will get back together and give you instant reaction shows that we were doing last year. You guys seem to fuck with that, so we appreciate that. But yeah. We'll see, but I'm with you. Like I said, there's a lot of things to be excited about when it comes to Celtics basketball. Hopefully they win these next 2 games, and continue to establish dominance, regardless of who's on the floor. That's what we're going to do here at MTP Boston. We're going to continue to establish dominance in the podcast game. So for the real BK Bob Kelly, he's Money Mike Marcangelo. I'm Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, and until next time, we'll see you. Peace.
Hey
Hey, what's happening out there, everybody? This is Lawrence Ross, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my podcast, The Lawrence Ross Show.
Egomaniac.
It's a 2-hour weekly exploration into my mind. I also do sketches, celebrity impersonations.
You're out of order!
And I also do song parodies. Not too shabby for a blind guy.
Not only are you visually impaired, but you are geographically impaired.
New episodes are released every Friday. Check it out on your favorite podcasting platform or listen to it here on Society 13 on Electrocast.
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for Season 2 of the WannaBet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that Season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but WannaBet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electrocast. Electrocast.